Excellent. Yes.
Okay.
What
So
else?
you started talking about exercise, and I know you have a whole chapter on how to win at exercise. So
Yes.
do you want to talk about that chapter a little
Yeah,
bit?
I think the line I'm most proud of in that chapter, and that chapter went all over the place. So I think the line I'm most proud of it is that people take the basic, simple concept of exercise for our clients, and they turn them into a stupid version of the Manhattan Project. Right now, if you don't know what the Manhattan Project was, that was the building of the atomic bomb, the fat boy, the little, what was it again? Fat boy and little man and fat boy. I can't remember what their exact names were. But anyway, fat man and little boy, whatever. It's not important. Go watch Oppenheimer and leave me alone. It's people make it so complex when all our clients really need to do is build a little muscle, get a little stronger so they can be functionally independent for as long as possible, and be harder to kill. All right. Number one, because if you're too weak and you can't get off the toilet, you're really easy to knock off. All right. And number two is having muscle mass. Muscle mass forms a repository for the nutrients necessary for your immune system to fight disease. There was an article I read a couple of years ago about people who go into the hospital, more muscle mass, have an extremely higher survival rate than people who don't. Muscle mass is very important. Would it be nice if every one of us could do a handstand push-up and then flip a 500-pound tire and do a 300-pound clean and jerk for as many reps as possible? Yes, CrossFit, that would be wonderful. But for the average person, they do not need to do that to build muscle. While you're sitting here crapping all over machines, they are the simple, easy, accessible thing for most people to use. Going and learning how we do a clean and jerk and a box jump while fatigued is not necessarily the best thing for the average person to do. For an extreme exerciser is the water that allows their life to flow. But for the average person, they can't do it. If they can, they'll get hurt, or they lack the skill level or interest to learn the technique to do that stuff safely. And even sometimes in the context you do it, it's impossible to be safe. It's a matter of risk management. So yeah, people get, if you just took one exercise for back, one exercise for chest, one exercise for front of the thighs, one exercise for back of the thighs, one exercise for shoulders, and one exercise for biceps, and one exercise for triceps, and you did that for 6 to 9 sets every week, every 7 days, spread out evenly over the 7 days, use the rep range from 6 to 15. Why? Some people do better with heavier weights and lower reps. Some people do better with lighter weights and higher reps. Beginners usually do better with higher reps because it gives them more practice, right? If you were to do that consistently and move the weight up over time and get better at the execution, I don't care if you're using a machine circuit, you will build muscle. You will improve your health. Will you be ready to retake Omaha Beach? Will you be ready to win the CrossFit Games? Will you be ready to win the World's Strongest Man contest? Will you be ready to take your shirt off and make people have a heart attack because you look so amazing? No. But that's not what we're talking about here. All right. We're talking about what do our clients need? They need to build some muscle. That stuff is wonderful, but that's so far down the road that the focus on that stuff now is insane. It just won't work. And people take these. And here's the thing as a trainer, I love using complex exercise with clients because they do pay off more. Yes, Mr. Barbell guy, I know you want to marry your barbell. And yes, barbell squats have a huge carryover to a lot of things. Yes, deadlifting with a barbell has a huge carryover to a lot of things. Yes, the bench press uses a lot of muscle mass and allows you to use more weight through a bigger range of motion than most any machine exercise. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Shoulder presses are superior to everything. I'm happy for you in your 4 exercises. Here's the problem. I see someone on a Monday, I don't see them again until the following Monday. They are in the gym on their own for the next 2 to 3 sessions. I need something that they can repeat safely and effectively till the next time I see them. And then when I'm with them, if I want to do the barbell squats or the kettlebell squats or all that fancy, sexy stuff that you act like is the lifeblood of exercise, that no one can get gains at exercise unless they do these things, it's not going to work. I'll do that stuff on Monday with them, and then they can do their machine exercises on Wednesday and Friday, or their simple dumbbell exercises or their simple band exercises on Wednesday and Friday, and they can get the volume in they need and add the load to the exercise they need to build muscle. All right. But I can't teach them a barbell squat and then have them screw up on Wednesday and Friday and get themselves hurt and get nothing out of it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes me nuts because what happens is these people are in weightlifting gyms. So they're surrounded by weightlifters. People who are largely, although not exclusively, are largely built for weightlifting. Even if they're not built for lifting, they're motivated to do it. They want to be there. They like the idea of lifting heavy, heavy barbells on their back and over their heads and off the ground, right? So they've got this kind of echo chamber they live in where there's only 4 exercises that really matter, right? And maybe we do leg press if you're not strong enough, but whatever. It's, you know, they see a leg extension or a leg curl machine, or they see a chest press machine or a lat pull down, and they can't handle it. And they can't handle it because of who the people are they surround themselves with. Right. So it's the people I surround myself with are people who are interested in other things, but understand they need to use exercise. To quote Jeff Ezikoff, they need exercise to make what they do outside the gym better. Right. And so they're not really invested in learning all those exercises, regardless of how superior they may be. So that's why I made it, the exercise chapter, so unsexy. That's why I made even the cardio part of the weight. Because again, very few people have the orthopedic health and the intensity and the capacity to burn enough calories at exercise for it to be a primary form for them to lose weight. It's a phenomenal way for building health. It's a phenomenal way for offsetting like things like Alzheimer's and stuff like that. And it's a great way to add supplemental calorie burn. If you're a smaller person, doing a 300 to 400 calorie workout a day can let you eat more food and still lose weight. Right. So the exercise has a value, and it is certainly essential for people who want to keep weight off long term in terms of maintenance of muscle mass and improvement of function. And again, that little extra calorie burn it gives. But even then, I didn't write a ton about intervals and stuff like that because they really just don't make that big of a difference. They just don't. And for most people are incapable of doing them long term. And as a trainer, I'm more concerned about, all right, what you can do in a 6 to 8 window, I'm happy for you, but what's your exit plan? And I say the same thing about diet. You can basically do anything for 6 to 8 weeks, but what's your exit plan? What are you going to do after that doesn't work out anymore? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like you said, it's pretty simple. Like getting in the gym, you want to build or at least keep your muscle. You want to build a little bit of strength, like getting in 6 to 9 sets per week of each muscle group. Use challenging weight, but good form in the 6 to 15 rep range. And it's really not that much more complicated beyond that. Like you don't have to be, your legs don't have to be like Jello leaving the gym. Like you don't have to be like drenched in sweat. It's really just comes down to challenging yourself within those parameters that you listed, and then trying to improve within those barriers.
Don't I quote you somewhere in the book where I say something along the lines of, oh, you want to accomplish this, great, you still have to build muscle. Oh, you want to accomplish this, great, you still have to build muscle. Oh, you want to look like Gwyneth Paltrow. Well, maybe that's a bad example. Oh, you want to look like so-and-so, great, you still have to build muscle. Every goal you have in the gym, to some level or another, you want to build bone density, guess what? You're probably going to build some muscle along with that to get that bone density you want. So you can lift weight heavy enough to actually challenge the bone tissue itself. Everything comes back to you have to build some muscle. And I know some nudneck's going to say, they're going to turn everyone to bodybuilders. Well, you know what? For the first 6 months to a year, maybe everyone should be a bodybuilder, right? Because their primary goal is to build muscle, not hurt themselves. So once you get, and I know